Your brain hasn't stopped since you woke up this morning. And you're exhausted. Not from what you did today, from what you thought about today. The conversation you replayed 15 times. The decision you can't stop second-guessing. The thing someone said 3 days ago that you're still picking apart looking for hidden meaning. You already know the worrying isn't helping. You already know that most of what you fear never actually happens. And yet, you can't stop. Here's what nobody tells you about overthinking. It's not a personality flaw. It's not a sign that something is deeply wrong with you. It's a habit, a deeply grooved, well-practiced mental habit. And like any habit, it can be rewired. By the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly why your brain does this. And you're going to have real tools to finally quiet it down. Let's start with something that's going to reframe the whole problem. You've probably spent a lot of energy trying to stop overthinking, telling yourself to just let it go, trying to force the thoughts out of your head. And every time, they come right back. That's not weakness. That's actually how the brain works. The moment you try to suppress a thought, the moment you say, "Don't think about that," your brain treats the thought like a threat and locks onto it harder. Researchers call this the rebound effect. The harder you push, the stronger it bounces back. So the answer isn't to fight your thoughts, it's to learn how to work with them. And the very first step is simpler than you think. It's just noticing. Not stopping, not fixing, just catching yourself in the act and saying, out loud if you can, "I'm overthinking right now." That's it. That small moment of awareness creates distance between you and the spiral. And distance is everything, because you can't change what you can't see. The second you name it, you stop being inside it and start being the one watching it. Start paying attention to your patterns. When does it hit hardest? Late at night, when the room goes quiet? Right after a difficult conversation? When you're sitting alone with nothing to distract you? Your overthinking has triggers, and once you know them, you can prepare for them instead of being ambushed by them every time. Now here's something that sounds strange but works better than almost anything else. Schedule your worry. Instead of trying to ban anxious thoughts from your mind entirely, give them a time slot. Tell yourself, "I'll deal with this at 3 p.m., not now, at 3. What this does is remarkable. It sends a signal to the part of your brain that keeps nagging you. The part that's convinced, if it stops worrying for even a second, something will go wrong. It tells that part, "I hear you. I'm not ignoring this. We have a time for it." And your brain, surprisingly, relaxes. When that worry window arrives, write it down. Not in your head. On paper. A brain dump, a pros and cons list. Anything that gets the spiral out of your mind and into something you can actually look at. Because worry that lives only in your head grows. Worry on paper shrinks. You have far more control over your anxiety than you've been led to believe. This is one of the first moments you'll actually feel that control, and it changes things. But here's the layer underneath all of this that most people miss. Your thoughts are not you. Your brain produces hundreds of thoughts every single hour. Loud ones, scary ones. Ones that feel absolutely true and urgent and real. But a thought being loud doesn't make it true. A thought being frequent doesn't make it fact. You are not your thoughts. You are the one watching them. Think of it like this. Imagine you're holding a remote control. Right now, your brain is stuck on one channel, the worry channel. It's playing on loop. Same fears, same scenarios, same worst-case stories, over and over. But you have the remote. You can't always choose what thoughts arise, but you can choose which ones you follow. You can click away from the spiral and redirect to something specific, something in your control, something that actually moves your life forward. What can you do right now? Not fix everything, just one small thing that actually matters. That question alone is a channel change, and the more you practice making that switch, the faster and easier it becomes. There's one more shift that changes everything. Notice the kinds of questions your brain asks when you're deep in the spiral. Why am I like this? Why can't I just be normal? Why does this keep happening to me? Here's the problem with every single one of those questions. None of them lead anywhere. Why questions feel like they're searching for answers? But really, they're just doorways back into the same dark room. The brain that asks, "Why am I such a failure?" never finds a satisfying answer. It just keeps asking. Replace why with what. Not, "Why do I keep messing up relationships?" But, "What is one thing I could do differently in this conversation?" Not, "Why am I so anxious?" But, "What is one small thing I can do for myself today?" What questions have answers? What questions lead to action? And action, even the smallest step, interrupts the spiral in a way that thinking about the spiral never can. Your brain is not broken. It is not your enemy. It is a very powerful machine that has been pointed in the wrong direction. And you can point it somewhere else. Overthinking kept you up last night. It stole your focus today. It took moments that were supposed to feel good and turned them into something to analyze and worry about instead. But here's what's true. The fact that your mind works this hard, the fact that you care this much, that you think this deeply, that's not a curse. That's a mind that's never been shown how to rest. And rest is a skill. Just like everything else in this video, it's something you practice, not something you either have or you don't. You are not sentenced to a life inside your own head. You just needed someone to show you the door. I want to ask you one question before you go. What is the one thought your brain keeps coming back to? The one you've replayed more times than you can count? Drop it in the comments. You don't have to explain it, just name it. Because you've been carrying it alone long enough. And you're not as alone in it as you think.